And now the ubiquitous Mr. Welch joins us. And you must be over the moon about Strong, right?
Well, I am, and Jimmy, this thing that we started talking about 5 years ago with what love makes us do.
Yeah.
It just keeps on going, man. And it's look, inevitably in these conversations, it comes up somewhere that people say, you know what, I'm of a certain age, I should be slowing down. In fact, they want to know why I'm not slowing down, right? And you know what? And I just am finding that to be not true at all. And it's a blessing. And and look, these records. So I did no records for 18 years, as you know, and was really distraught because I was writing as if I was going to go in the studio sometime. And let me tell you something. I'm really glad I was writing, because once we started this new thing that happened 5 years ago with my friend Rich Herring producing these records, it has been sort of nonstop, really. I'm continuously going back in the studio and cutting things for the next record. And I've never worked in the music business like this. And it's just joyful. I mean, I go in and I'm just giddy when I come out of there. And I think that it's, if you're a songwriter and you have somebody who understands what you're doing and can elevate what you're doing to a level that you cannot, that never gets old. It's like having a great editor if you're an author. You know what I mean? Somebody who says, hey, Jimmy, I understand you. I get you. And there's no boilerplate here. We're not going to just do what I did with the last book. I'm gonna make this book sing. And that's what this guy has done. And it's just, I just have to get my energy up and get out there,
Well,
So,
I'll tell you this, and by the way, you made the note when you were actually working this out with the person who I love so much, Claire Marie. We were talking about the idea that you and I always end up in left field somehow while getting back to the whole purpose and point.
I love that.
But people don't understand something they don't understand. They watch movies, and they don't understand when they see a movie that, that often the lead character is a stand-in for the man or the woman who wrote it or who directed it. They don't get that sometimes, a songwriter will see somebody sing their song and they go, oh my God. And the singer will do it too, where, oh my God, this is me and that is you and we are one in this song. And there is something about finding the people. And, Dean Croak, who does an ongoing segment, a regular contributor here, loves to say this about trucking. You're only as good as your partners. So when you find the people that you really see, that you really understand, who actually kind of seal the deal for you, you don't want to let them go, do you?
No.
Man, when you finally hear somebody who makes your words sing, someone who actually gives you the words to sing, someone who actually knows exactly when you should stop talking, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what an editor does. An editor knows, hey, you're terrific. You should do a little less of it. But that's a big
Right,
thing,
that's right.
It's a big deal to find these people. These are the grace notes that the spirit of the universe, God, the cosmic woo, whatever anybody worships, this is what they get sent. They get sent this, and you need to cherish it, right?
Right. And you know what, Jimmy? That only happens if you live a relational life. If you're living a transactional life, look, I don't want to live that life, and I chose a long time ago not to do that. I have a book publicity business that I do. I've been doing we're in year 14 now, and I've been doing this business for 20 years. And the way we choose clients, I have an MBA, by the way. And so, you know what? They didn't teach us this in MBA school. But the way that we choose clients is look, they can have their checkbook out and they can be ready to pay me to do the work for them and all that. And you know what? If I'm sure that we're not the right people for them, or there's not some kind of connection that's deeper than just you write me a check and I do work for you, then I say no to those people. And you know what? And here's what's happened. In 14 years, we've never had to advertise. We've never had to walk around. And every bit of it has come from word of mouth. And you know what? I want to live my life like that. I want to do my music like that. But I think it's so easy. The culture teaches us to do transactions. And you and I are not in a transaction, are we? I mean, the very first time that I was on your show, I thought, man, I love this guy, and I want to come back here sometime. And I think of you first when I finish anything I'm doing. I think of you first. I asked Claire the other day, I said, look, I said, I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but I said, is Jimmy going to interview me? Because I just want to talk to him. And so, you know what, that's how you get that person. That's how you find that person, because what happens is if you live like that, then you know almost the minute that you're in the presence of that person, or the first time they do something for you, they edit your book or they produce your first song or whatever. I mean, look, when I heard the first song from Rich Herring, I'm like, wow, this is what I heard when I wrote it, but how did this guy hear what I heard when I wrote it? You know what I mean? And I don't think that happens in a transaction. I just don't think it happens.
Yeah, a transactional relationship usually involves the fact that I get what I need from you, you get what you need. And by the way, best case scenario transactional, I get what I need from you, you get what I need from me, and we are done. And I think that the mark of a truly great publicist, the mark of a truly great promoter, the mark of a truly great collaborator is I am present with you in the moment, seeing you for who you are in this moment, and this is the only moment that matters.
Yes.
And that's what a
Yes,
relationship is. It's such a big deal.
Exactly. And you know, Jimmy, it's very hard to find those people. I mean, you know, I'm of a certain age, and it took, and though I've had great, really fine collaborators and worked with friends, produced a record in 2000 with my friend Sam Eddy, and we loved what we did. But, you know, this is different, you know, and that sort of transcendent, I guess is the word, creative process with somebody is just, there's really nothing like it. And I just think, you know, a lot of the music business and a lot of business generally doesn't tell you that, you know what, look, find your people. And if you do, people you trust, people you can hand your work to, and they care as much about your work, Jimmy, as you do, that's a gift. Is what that is.
That's the absolute gift. When they're always thinking about how to make you better, it's like I often tell people that my relationship with God is a fairly contentious one, because I'm constantly trying to hear what the heck he's telling me. I'm always like, come on, dude, right. Come on. Okay, Dennis, we actually just are doing a drop in here just to kind of reintroduce you to everybody so we can have more conversations down the road. But really quickly tell us about, and you got about 2 minutes. I know it flies by. Can you kind of tell people about the album, but also tell us what you're doing for the next couple of weeks, kind of building the momentum behind this?
Well, so first of all, Strong, the title track is my manifesto. You know what? I'm tired of living a fearful life, and this song came to me. It was the last song I wrote for this record, and it says, you know what? I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to live a strong life. I am, and I'm doing it. And part of that will be us getting out on the road. I haven't done this. I don't know if I've ever done this kind of road stuff, Jimmy. And we're getting out and we're doing, I've discovered house concerts now.
They're the best. They're the best.
They are the best. They're warm. You know what? People invite their friends and they say, hey, we got a friend who's a songwriter and he's got a new record out. You want to come have some, you know, munchies and or whatever. We have some finger foods, and you bring your cooler and a chair, and let's do. I mean, and we fill up these places, and I'm grateful that we do. And it's a sweet kind of warm evening, and so we're going all over. We'll be in Illinois, we'll be in Ohio for 2 shows, we'll be in New Hampshire of all places. And Maine and Maryland. We're just going all over, and we're going through Nashville on some of that trip, and Atlanta. And so, you know, I'm just getting out and singing these songs and just introducing people to this new batch of songs. And as you know, writers never really stop writing. And so I'm already thinking about the next one. But so our tour will start really this Saturday. We're doing a show here in Central Texas, and then we'll go to Houston for 2 shows, and then we'll take off at the end of July. First, we're going to go. My wife's 94-year-old father is getting married to a younger woman. She's 90, and I'm going to be involved in the ceremony. I had to pay $50 for a ministerial license to do it. And anyway, and then we leave there, and we won't be back in Texas until around the 1st of October.
Dennis, we're out of time, brother. I can't believe it. And by the way, Dennis sounds like he's about 40. He ain't even close to that, my friend. He's just young at heart. Dennis, we're going to get you back on sooner rather than later, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Dennis Welch, music, by the way. Strong is the new album. It comes out next Wednesday. We are so excited to have you back. I love you, Dennis. It is great to have you back.
Man. Bless you, and I'll be glad to talk to you again when you're ready. Okay?
All right, my friend. Get out there. I'm going to call you and invite you to our party, too, on the 23rd over here at the Degas House.